What's up, YouTube? Today we are making 1,000 keychains. I'm going to eat up all the scraps I have, 24 hours of just making keychains. So without further ado, we're gonna just jump into it and take you guys along the ride. So let's do it.
Oh, why do customers always call at the worst times? I swear. I'm like in the middle of recording. I'm like on the phone with another customer. I'm pooping. I'm about to leave the house. I step away for 8 minutes to go to the post office. Okay. Order taken. So here's the old-timey scrap bin. Because these are keychains, I'm not super concerned about the consistency of the leather per se. There is going to be some stuff that's too thick and some stuff that is going to be a little bit too light. But for the most part, I'm not being too picky because basically this stuff's going to get thrown away, or pretty much that's it. I never use my scraps really ever, so this is a good chance to get rid of some of it. So with that being said, I'm going to dig in here and see what kind of goodies I could find. It's good. This is a little too floppy. It's almost like I planted these perfect pieces here. As you can see, I mean, my scrap bin's not too full. It's just so much more time effective and cost effective to just get rid of it. I'm gonna sit here and dig through a piece. Like certain size pieces, like those first ones that I threw, I'll hold on to those just because it makes sense. But now I'm looking at this like I don't know what the hell I'm ever gonna use this on. Like maybe a dog collar if I'm lucky, but it just takes too much time to like sift through this to find some tiny ass piece of leather. Last time I looked through this was to get freaking scraps for my last batch of keychains, which I got rid of so many freaking keychains over Christmas. Every stocking we did, I put a keychain in. Plus, I mean, my last batch of keychains had to last me like 6-7 months, maybe a little bit more than that. So these are my old school keychains, or my last version of keychains. I would take like a 1-inch strip. I would take like scraps and like a big piece of leather and just pull 1-inch strips. That part was really fast. Having to sit there and do all these freaking bleed knots took forever. So these are gonna be my new keychains. I don't have one finished yet, but I did make like a pattern for it. It's more of a like kind of like a fob pull tag thing, but you can see the logo's gonna be nice and centered. So pain in the butt, but I have to trace this like infinite amount of times, which I'm not excited to do, but I guess here we go. So I'm now realizing what kind of nightmare I just signed myself up for. Oh, I can tell you right now, this was a horrible, horrible idea. So badly should I have gotten a freaking clicker press for this. This video, I started out with a lot of optimism and wind in the sails, but as this is developing along, there's no way I'm doing all this. Your boy's taking the struggle bus right now. I'm gonna kind of make a watery mess here. I probably should just soak these, but I think this should be fine. So the objective is to try and center my maker's mark the best I can, which I think I'm gonna have to stand for this. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna try and give them all just one solid strike. I don't want to have to tap multiple times. Wish me luck that I don't miss and blow my wrist off. But we're off to a good start. Can't complain. Okay, so here they all are. I will say this is like the perfect amount. I'm glad I didn't do more. I think I'll be tapping out right about the time it's time to wrap up there. I just swing that hammer so hard so many times. I mean, you can see I'm like bruising and starting to blister. Normally I don't swing that heavy of a hammer this hard. If I did another sheet this size, I definitely would be having a blister right now. You can see it in here. But I'm actually really excited to stain these and show you guys what I have planned with that, because that is the icing on the cake of all this. The way that I'm gonna stain these is so tight. Okay, so before you go, Brian, that's awfully wet. Yes, it is. It is wet. And that's fine, because the stain that we're gonna do is a little funky and a little out of the box. So we actually kind of want some inconsistencies. When you see me stain the front side, you'll definitely understand why the wetness on the back side doesn't really matter. I'm taking this opportunity to kind of kill some of the stains that I don't really use too often, to cover up on the back side. We are gonna want a lot of blends and a ton of different colors. This is not what you would call textbook technique at all, but that's exactly why these keychains are gonna turn out so sick. Okay, so here's the big reveal. So you can see, like I said, it's kind of uneven, which is exactly what we want. And then we're gonna flip it over and you go, oh, Brian, you have all these stain messes and splotches all over the front. And I would say, you're absolutely correct. So as you can see, we made a mess. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start on these two pieces first as kind of my testing pieces. So here's what we have. We have this jar of black stain here, and then we have this jar of brown. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this brush. This is the brush. This brush is really not a good brush for painting. Barely tap it into the black. We're gonna give it some stripes. Do some long brush strokes. Now this is basically perfect. Already better than I anticipated. I think the brown's gonna get messier, honestly, but who knows? I mean, that looks pretty good too. One of the reasons why I didn't want this to completely dry from the water is that this stain isn't going to stain quite as dark as well, because I don't want these to be too dark, because then I'm gonna start losing the lines of all these keychains that I'm gonna have to cut out. So the wetness that you're seeing is gonna kind of give us a little bit of resistance, so it doesn't just absorb solid black, which is super not necessarily what we want. Man, this could not be going better. The problem is it's going really smooth and really sick right now, and then it's gonna come down to having to cut these things out, and that's where everything is gonna come to a crashing, fiery, screeching halt. All right, so I'm not gonna say this is where it gets tricky, but this is the part that I'm not too sure about. This is like as far as I got my plan in my head, so we'll see. We're gonna give a couple of them some tests, because I want to get this stain down in the maker's mark, so that way the logos and the lettering and stuff really pops. So yeah, those look pretty good. See, okay, yeah, these ones look better. So now I'm faced with the harsh reality that I have to cut all these out. Yeah, I should have thought that through a little bit, but I mean, they're looking sick. Look at that guy. Look at those tiger stripes. It's gonna be really sick. I'm gonna have to just throw this on time lapse and just do my best. Alright, so check it out, YouTube. We got a bunch of these things that turned out really cool. Now my only problem is that the edges are kind of rough on some of these because I didn't do this with a clicker press like an idiot. So now we're gonna have to run every one of these keychains on this freaking sanding wheel. YouTube, I'm live streaming on TikTok. TikTok, I'm filming a YouTube video. This is social media leather guy inception right here. TikTok, if you don't follow me on YouTube, go check me out. YouTube, check me out on TikTok if you want to ever see me go live. All the links are in the description. I'm getting pretty tired of working on these keychains, so I'm gonna try and get these mother effers ready and done. Done. Man, I'm over that. I am tired of doing that. Alright, so what we got left is we gotta edge bevel these things, and then we're gonna do some blacks. We're gonna do the borders black. All right, so I just got done edge beveling all these things for, I don't know, that had to have been probably an hour and a half. I'm incredibly tired of edge beveling, and I hope I don't have to edge bevel anything for another week at least. But here's what we got so far. So here's what we call the forbidden leather spaghetti. You guys want to see something super satisfying? Is the wipe off the table. Ready? Ready? Oh, nice. Anyways, we got all these keychains. Now we're gonna move on to staining the edges black and trying to get these things wrapped up. I'm about 10 times the amount of time invested into these things as I wanted to at the beginning. So we gotta just keep muscling through this and wrap these up. What we're gonna do now is take the this black stain here and our dauber. I'm gonna dip that in black stain and then run it along the edges, which is going to darken up the outer perimeter so we don't have these like really kind of unsightly tan edges. So we're gonna have to let that dry, but I mean, see, that's 1,000 times better looking. All right, so here's all the keychains we got. Okay, so it is like 2 days later or something like that. I got my pack of my rings. I got 200 of them. I'm going to wrap these bad boys up. We got all of our keychains in here. God bless the red Folgers can. Shout out Steve Sosak. These are When you grew up resourceful like I did, these are great containers for anything. So here we go. Boom. What we're gonna do is take our keychain like this, fold over the edge, go like this, line up the holes. Everybody who's been to high school, been in health class, you take the male end and you put it through not one hole, but 2 holes. And then you take the female end, and then as you can see, the little nub comes through here, and then you come in, snap it on, kind of holds in place, and then you smack this closed, and then it closes permanently. And ta-da, there we go. Keychain. So what I'm gonna do, what I would like to call prep these, you heard that little click sound? This kind of holds it together. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna set up quite a few of these. I don't know, I might do 10, 15 of them up until this point. And then that way I can just set them all. So I don't have to keep juggling parts and parts and parts. I can try and streamline this process a little bit. So enough of that. I've spent way too much damn time on these freaking keychains, and I'm ready to get done. Done.